Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I wanted to start by thanking Jody and Cameron for this amazing event. I wanted to thank Ian, who first introduced me to NFT.NYC. And I wanted to thank Peter for always making sure that the speakers feel so at home and so at ease with every event. So I had a challenge just with sustainability and NFTs, because those are two rowdy words coming off of 2022 and going into 2023. And I probably emailed the community leaders of the event, I don't know, 20 times about what the topic specifically should be about. And the reason for that was because I had like this triple threat argument in my head about, should I be having, yeah. That's okay, yeah, okay. I can just keep talking though, yeah? Yeah, I'm just going for it. Okay. We're used to stuff like this all the time. We've got 6 kids. So the first thing that was going through my head was, okay, are we going to talk about sustainability of NFTs as it pertains to NFTs hurting the planet? Okay, maybe not. Maybe we shouldn't dive into that. Should we talk about sustainability of NFTs as in how are they going to sustain growth going into the next decade? Not sure. And then the third thing I thought about was, okay, maybe we should think about how NFTs can be utilized in business and how they can help with sustainability in brands and showcasing how brands are working in the sustainability space. So I went with the third option and then thought about how the third option could help with 1 and 2. And so that's where I landed. And the team was really patient with me as I tousled with all of those ideas. And there will not be a quiz on how my brain works later, because I know a lot of what I just said is confusing. But, so the ideas of sustainability and NFTs, I thought about it as 4 business models. And the first one was, how do we teach brands to retain their information and supply chain data in one easy place? Because I don't think brands truly understand the value of keeping their supply chain data in one location. So that was the first thing, if I'm remembering things and ad-libbing. The second thing was the sustainability space, right? And how do you utilize blockchain to, thank you. How do you utilize blockchain to showcase brands that are working in the sustainability space as an easy marketplace? Because right now, when you go and look at a brand and you're trying to see who they're working with, like 1% for the planet or different 501Cs, it is havoc to try and understand who they're working with. The third thing was, let's see. Build on-ramps to bridge physical and digital marketplaces to increase brand activations. Now, this seems to be already a hot topic here over the past 2 days, and it feels like there are a lot of folks already working on this in the space, which is great to see. And provenance management to offset counterfeit goods, which saves money and preserves brand equity. So this is actually an old topic, and I feel like there are probably 1 or 2 big players in this space that have already started to tackle this challenge for big brands. Okay, so this is a good example of what I was referring to as far as sustainability, charities, 501Cs. So if you start with a big brand like New Balance and you look at it, you can see why Gen Z would get so confused as to what does this actually mean. Because you start to dive in and you want to see what good they're doing. And for that age group, this gets very confusing for multiple reasons. First, what does Outdoor Industry Association even mean to someone that's 21? They're not going to take the time to understand what that means. We're assuming that a 21-year-old is going to dive into every single one of these items and figure it out. They're not going to. So is it really adding brand equity to the end consumer? We don't know, especially for that wallet size, right? That millennial Gen Z that is spending a lot online, and we know that this is something that they're very interested in. So this is a huge opportunity for the NFT space. And if you go back to the first page, which is where I probably should have started, two things that I think are really important for brands. The next generation of brands can perform better by doing more good, which I just love that sentence. And then NFT digital tokens offer a simple solution to represent items in supply chain, identifications for people, property deeds, and digital art. And we know that NFTs over the past few years has really flourished under digital art. And another topic that has been brought up over the past 2 days is, where does it go from here? And I think this is the opportunity that we've been talking about. So the one that I've been really focused in on is supply chain. But I know a few folks brought up identifications for people. I heard yesterday someone say voting, property deeds. We've seen some companies already launch in the real estate space. So we're going to dive into sustainability first, which is showing right now the opportunity. Wines. Here's another massive opportunity. So a very famous winery on the Upper West Side in Manhattan was fined for the first time for selling a fake bottle of bourbon, actually. It's the oldest winery, I think, in the country. And we have to think about the damage that that does to that store, right? Now, they didn't do it on purpose. The wine store has been around, I think, since the 1800s. And they had to pay a $100,000 fine. And we think about these fines over the past 2 years. I think the fines have now gone up to $28 million. So for the wineries specifically, the vineyards, right? They're dealing with not only trying to show all the charities, the 501Cs, and the folks that they're working with to try and verify what they're doing, but they're also combating 30,000 bottles of wine every day that are fake going into the marketplace. This is another massive opportunity for NFTs. So, what's the solution? Well, this hasn't been done yet, which is something that this community can certainly tackle. So, there is a way to showcase for brands an easy solution, because the SDGs has already put out there 17 goals to make the planet better. Well, how are brands utilizing that? How do you take the 20 or 30 or 40 companies you're already working with and showcase them in a way that is easy for Gen Z to see, right? So, the way that we think about it and the things that are important to us, starting with 5, 10, and 14. So we tackle gender equality and water, right? So if you've got a fabulous company that's trying to showcase the good they're doing, and they've got 5 501Cs, but people don't truly understand what those 501Cs mean, this is a great chart for someone to say, okay, that equates to gender equality. Okay, and that's really what I think we should be utilizing this for. So the way we netted it down was offering brands the ability to show all their sustainability initiatives in one immutable and verifiable NFT. And again, this has not been done yet. So this is an unlock. This is an opportunity for folks here in this room to tackle this. And I hope someone does. So the next. So USA Made. So this is something that means a lot to me. Being in the retail industry and knowing that it's very difficult to verify something that's actually made in the US, I decided to tackle this as an opportunity. Okay, so hasn't been done. Anything that's American made or USA made is not verified by the government. So this was something that I had no idea was never done before. And I started it in New York City at the height of COVID. And I wanted to reinvigorate local manufacturing that was actually done in New York City. And then those profits and those proceeds would go back to the people in New York City. And as I started to dive in, I realized even though people said they were manufacturing in New York City, some of those folks weren't. Now, that's about local, reinvigorating local, and we're seeing that more and more folks are excited to shop and buy local. But we also want to verify that those items are made locally. And that is what something like this can do. This is an example of how you can combine a QR code, right, with art, digital art, and the wine industry, right? So you take all of those things that we were discussing before, you can put it onto a wine bottle, you can scan that QR code, and you start to see the origins of that winery, especially if it's a local winery in Oregon, right? You get to see the value of who made that wine. How did they plant their first grape? And what you hope to see is this type of collaboration between what we already know is an NFT, right, which is the art world. That's what NFTs typically have been known for. But now you're starting to see the development of NFT and the space, the digital token space, go beyond art. We're starting to see it go into local manufacturing. You're starting to help your neighbor. So this was just something that I thought was super fun and exciting, that gave you a visual presentation of what could be done that has not been done yet. So how do you do that, right? So this is an example of how we're tackling it. I don't think it's seamless, right? We talk about ease, we talk about on-ramps. So this is our approach to it. I've got 26 seconds left, but this is something that we wanted to share as to how we're tackling it, right? So you add your products to the site, you verify your manufacturing process, you have verifiers, right? So you have folks in the marketplace, okay. And then you want to verify what is blockchain. We talked about this yesterday. And you hope that the person that's manufacturing the item sends an email to the person that helped them make their products. And then those people verify that they actually know the originator, right? And they confirm, yes, I provided that jar. Yes, I planted the seed to where the cotton was farmed, right? And you start to confirm all of that data on chain, which is a very important point. You mint your NFT and you start to bridge the physical and digital. And that's what we talked about as provenance with USA Strong. So, retaining supply chain data in one place to help companies grow. This chart, this could take hours to review. I mean, this is very interesting. So if we look at this wine supply chain currently, this is how, if you look at the top row, this is how it's done today. So there's no single source of truth. If you look at the bottom where we want to go, again, it has not been done, but this is the opportunity, right? So maybe another time we can certainly dive into this, but feel free to take a picture of it and dive into it and use it. And I would love someone really, really smart to help build this, because it would help local manufacturing and wine growers prove that their wine is what it is, especially when you go to a store, and keep oh gosh, I lost it, and keep money local. Okay, so this is how we verify that something was made in America. We had a local manufacturer in Florida partner with us. He is an ex-Army Navy guy, and he retired from there, and he started a store, and he wanted to make everything America. And so he verified where the fabric was from, where he's storing the product. He uploaded the pictures, he added his partners, and he got his NFT. And this was something that we were really, really proud of. And that's it. But thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate it. Thank you.